Check 1, 2. Hello and welcome everybody. If someone's out there want to let me know that it's sounding all right. Looks good. Happy to be with you. I'm going to be working on a track that I started 2 days ago, which was for a weekly challenge based off of a beatbox blueprint that I made. And it turned out pretty good. So we're going to try to continue that a bit. Sounds good and you look good. Hi, sweetie. The chat is, one sec, not on screen because it wasn't refreshing. Like I should say, the chat from last session was still there. And I actually don't know how to fix that. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Hey, Carl. Good to see you as well. Hello to everybody else who's here. Chatters and not. Little chatters. I guess I'll just show it and eventually the old chat will just go away. I don't know how to kind of reset that or whatever. We'll see. It should be pretty easy, right? You'd think like it's kind of a essential feature. Won't be able to stay. Got some practicing to do. Just watching an interview with Tom for 2 hours today. Such a nice chat. Oh yeah, that was fun. I haven't talked to Tom in a little while. It was nice to see the picture of you with him, as usual. Have fun practicing. What are you going to practice today? A song or technique or something? Yeah, I don't know how you refresh the chat. It just seems weird. Chat is super slow, chugging in place. Oh yeah, I see that too. Interesting. Okay, let's fix this somehow. Chat is gone for now. I can't see you either, so don't say anything. Unless it's something you don't want me to see. I see that. Okay, so is that appearing? And does it look fine now? Yeah, it looks fine now, right? I saw, yeah. Yeah, I was too quick for you. Connected to YouTube chat successfully, so now I should be able to see everybody else. Some economy picking practice, a little refresh on the Manhattan solo by Eric Johnson, then preparing for a contest entry. Hell yeah, that's great. Economy picking. I did practice that too quite a bit. I ended up in a situation now where I just do a hybrid of economy picking, alternate picking, like strict alternate, and hybrid picking. Certain movements seem to really favor economy stuff if you know how to do it, and then hybrid picking is just so enjoyable to be able to like grab little fingers and flick them bit while you do the picks. Anyway, that's great, Jem. Anybody who's into guitar should definitely check out Jem's channel. He's a great player. Prashant, welcome. Sorry I didn't see you before there. Yep. Hi, Captain Cran as well. Sorry I didn't see you there. Good to see you. So before I get into what is going on with that? Igor, is that is that literally all your username, all those spaces? 11, hola. Good to see you. Eric Johnson Venue Isle album is a masterpiece. I'm downloading Logic Pro on my new computer at the moment, taking way too long to record my music. Oh, wow, okay. Guitar John, welcome. Speaking about guitars. Okay, so you're surprised you can actually see it. Yeah, it's just, it ends up, you can see what it looks like in the chat, right? Yeah, it's like, looks almost like spaced out on two different people speaking. Somebody saying nothing and someone saying your message. You really like Gem by Eric Johnson. Whoa, now that's a trip, because Gem is the guy playing, you know, spelled differently, but Gem's the guy playing the Eric Johnson song, but you like Gem by, oh my gosh. I never listened to a ton of Eric Johnson. I don't know why. I did listen to a number of things, and of course I learned Cliffs of Dover and whatever it's called. It's been so long I haven't listened. And his, like, you know, so much of his phrasing and his lines and stuff are so pleasing, just so satisfying. Like a big wide interval stuff, like spread triads and whatever. It's great. Okay, so anyway, as I said, I started this track on Sunday for a weekly challenge, and it turned out pretty good. But I was also trying to bounce out some previous weekly challenges, because I don't think I've updated my SoundCloud with the weekly challenge, my weekly challenge entries for, like, I don't even know. Got to be like 20 probably, something like that, like actually 20 challenges. So I was trying to go back and bounce some of those out. And the last one that I was on was this one. It's still open, so I may as well just play it for you. I actually quite like this one too, although the last section is a bit whack, but it's kind of one of those things that in the weekly challenge, I only have 2 hours, quote unquote, 2 hours to make a track, quote unquote, track, 90-second piece of music. And so certain ideas happen because I don't have any other ones, and then I got to follow them because I got no time, and then I think, no, that wasn't a good idea at all. The first part was a good idea, though. The first part's pretty cool. So trying to catch more of the stream. Every time I stumble into any of videos, get inspired to fire best one. Hey, that sounds amazing, Jim. I'm so glad to hear that. All right, so here's the track. Just like, here's kind of a volume check. That's not what the track is like at all. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I have orange juice. Even though it's yellow, believe me, it's orange juice. Oh, I don't have chord. Say what? Chordwatch. It's P. Yeah. Hey, Frio. Good to see you. This is Piss with ink. Okay, so this is from challenge 127, where we had a spreadsheet that would randomize parameters for you and make a challenge for you that had some just crazy stuff you had to do. I don't remember what my parameters were, other than time signature of 5/8 apparently. But it sounds like this. I am working on the track from last time. I'm just showing this one because it was open, because I was trying to bounce it out last night. And I thought, oh, it's a nice one. Well, until the end. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of lame. But the other part is nice. Oh, you do like the B section. But anyway, that's all I'm doing with that track for now. And then I'm going to go now and work on the other one. Kind of proggy, you know. I mean, I guess the 5/8 and the guitar, distorted guitar. The first part of that riff I think is kind of cool, but I don't know. It could definitely be improved. Okay, so is this. Thought you had last one still. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I was just going through a bunch of old ones. I need to like go from 137 back down to 116 and bounce them all. So this one was open. Is this opening of a track an EQ sweep? There was this. There was a filter sweep there at some point. Yep. Yep. And oh yeah, welcome KK to the Mind of Max, by the way, and thanks for reminding me about that. If you're on YouTube, I do have a YouTube membership program if you want to support me and get some extra videos. The extra videos are just me talking about stuff. Music stuff, demonstrating stuff, breaking down tracks, harmonic analysis, music philosophy, whatever. I take suggestions for it too. So you can check that out by pushing the join button on YouTube if you like. Narcissus Mihai, welcome. What software or plugin do you recommend for making drums? Making drums, or as in like sound designing drums, or programming drums? Are you looking for realistic drums or electronic drums? I'm glad you like it, Carl. Okay, so from the top, this one sounds like this. It's cool. I like it. I get the OG beatboxes in there at the start. Yeah, I like it too. I think it sounds good there. KK, I'm just here to hear you talk. You can learn a lot just by watching experts work or listen to them talk. That's how I feel too, KK. I just like to listen to and watch the people that inspire me do what they do and talk about what they're into, whether it's drummers or bassists or guitar players or keyboard players or producers or anybody. Something good about it. Producing drum beats, use easy drums, but I want something more complex. You want the hard drums. I use addictive drums, and I'm a big proponent of addictive drums. For me, they're like the perfect blend of being able to control things very accurately and precisely, but not too much. Just enough with an easy-to-use interface and they sound great. They really sound great. This kit in particular really sounds good. Really sounds good. Yeah, we were talking about the username thing earlier. For you, it was pretty funny. So you plan to make more Udemy courses? Welcome. Yeah, I do at some point. Right now, I'm trying to work on both the current ear training app, Sonofield. In case you guys don't know, I have an ear training app. It's called Sonofield. You probably like it. And then a new ear training app, which is currently in the works, which is going to be all about chords and chord progressions. That's what I'm really kind of obsessed with at the moment. I cannot stop working on it, which is kind of problematic. Kind of good, but kind of problematic. Podcast chat with the guy who made your favorite AD kit. That would be really great. I wonder if I can find out. You love the app. Use it sometimes at work. Okay, nice. And it's awesome. Oh, glad you like it, Captain Cran. The new one, too, I think will really be awesome. Of course, being able to do melody by ear is important, and that's why I talk about it all the time. But I think being able to do chords by ear is more difficult and more desirable to a lot of people, because it is possible to brute force melodies, so to speak, by ear, because you just hear it, play a note, search around till you find it. Got it. Next one, search around till you find it. You don't have to be fast and accurate and precise, although it is cool and very useful to be able to do that. But chords, you can't really, unless you already have a good ear, you can't really brute force chords. I couldn't. I can tell you that much. I could not. So many times when I was younger, I tried to work out chords to songs, even songs I was imagining or trying to write, and I just couldn't find them. So I became obsessed with harmonic ear training, really obsessed for a long time, many, many years. So anyway, that'll be the new app. Still waiting for the advanced harmony course. Yeah, I know. Gosh, it's the way life goes, hey? About the ear training app just a couple days ago. I'm not sure if I can use it without first being able to be familiar with scales and chords. I'm an absolute beginner. Okay, well, just make sure, KK, that you watch the Sonofield user guide video that's on my channel. Watch that for sure, because that will give you the background knowledge, at least to some extent. If that also feels too much for you, then you may need to deal with some other stuff first. Darmolian, hey, good to see you. Dylan, good to see you. How did you train your ear yourself? At that time, I was using apps, any app I possibly could. And I was playing. I've always been someone who writes music, of course. I wasn't just playing music. So whenever I would write music, I would look at the chords that I was playing and I would label them, in scale degrees. It's a 1 to a 5 to a whatever. And then play them slowly and just put labels on them as I heard them and say, right, that's 5 and that's 4. That's 5 and that's 4. 4 feels like this. 5 feels like this. 4 inverted feels like that. So on. All the chord qualities from major to whatever. Dominant 13, sharp 11, flat 9. You got to get all that stuff if you're into jazzy stuff anyway. If you're not into jazzy stuff, then it's much easier. You have a much, much shorter path. If only. Anyway, you got to do all the chord qualities and then the chord positions or the chord functions or degrees. Is it 1, 4, flat 6, flat 2? Those two things get combined and then you can do chords by ear. Anything. Okay, so let's get back to the track again. The drums are too loud, or I should say the instruments are too quiet. That's the first thing that I want to just deal with before I start working on the track. And I'm going to do that by turning the volume down significantly for the moment. So don't think this is the full volume of the track and then turn up your speakers. It's not. And then I'm just going to tweak something. Maybe I'll do the instruments individually now that I think about it. I was going to turn up the whole instrument bus, but I think they still need to be balanced more. And I need to change the lead sound. I don't really like it. I have an idea for a better sound. We'll see. All right, so, yep. Let's turn up the, let's go one by one. By the way, if you're trying to mix things, if you're trying to mix music, if you're into music production, you're going to be mixing stuff. My tip is mix drums first, and let your drums be the framework or skeleton that everything else is in reference to. Make sure the drums feel good and are balanced within themselves, and then you set those, and everything else has to meet them and balance against them. And they're immovable, basically. They become immovable. And they should basically be equivalent. Well, I shouldn't say that. It depends on the type of music. If your music is groove-based, beat-based, where drums are important, then the drums basically need to be as loud as the melody instrument or lead instrument, whatever it is, because one's percussive and one is tonal. They can both be the same volume and not clash with each other. And then the track feels powerful and full and big and whatever. A lot of people, when they first start mixing, if you listen to like amateur mixes, really, which I've done a lot of over the past few years, a lot of them, the drums are just way too quiet. And that's like, it's almost like the main problem in the mix. The drums are way too quiet. If the drums are balanced within themselves and quite loud, it starts to feel like, oh, this feels like a good mix somehow. It just starts working. Of course, there's more to it, but you know. How to start learning mixing. Gosh. You need to definitely learn the basics from someone about like EQ, compression, panning, volume, and reverb. Those are the most important elements. And if you've got those 5 things, so the basics of how they work and why you would use them, then you just need to make a lot of music and try a lot of stuff and keep watching tutorials, keep reading, keep seeing how people do stuff. It's actually very difficult in my experience. Mixing is hard. How do you learn to hear what is better? How do you know when the drums are not loud enough? So being able to hear whether someone else's mix or your own mix as a whole is not good or something, of course, just comes from mixing a lot and paying attention to mixes for a very long time. But in the process of doing your own, I'll show you. We do it like this. So we'll just solo the drums first. And I have them turned down at the moment because I listen to the music decently loud when I'm producing it because it's, more fun and vibey. But mixing, it's better to have them, for me, generally pretty quiet. So what I'm listening for currently, this is a pre-mixed kit, I should say, right? Because this comes from Addictive Drums. Someone already spent time to set this up and put like effects on the master, and I shouldn't have to do too much to them unless I want to stylize them further, which we might. But we start by listening to them. In this case, I know that they're balanced within themselves, but perhaps they're not. So you play and you listen to kick versus snare. Do they basically sound the same volume? Kick and snare are like 2 poles of the spectrum, so they should sound the same volume. You can check your meter, but don't rely on meters. But you can see here, the kick and the snare are both sort of peaking at the same spot. But better to go by ear. I'm not someone who says don't use meters. Definitely you should use meters, but gotta use your ear too. Now the hi-hat against the kick and the snare I'm listening for. I should get rid of the percussion. So with this beat, if you're not a drummer, you might not know these sort of techniques, but this is a closed hi-hat alternating with a ghost note on the snare. Ticka, 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 ticka. Right now they're just straight alternating. Ticka, 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 but they could be doing more interesting patterns too. It doesn't have to be like it is here. And anyway, though, you can get this effect of these really techie fast 16s, either by doing everything on the hi-hat or alternating hi-hat with ghost notes like that. Right now, everything is hyper perfect in here. There's nothing, everything's the same velocity, and I don't know, we'll probably change that later, but you mentioned your old Studio One tutorial playlist from a few years ago. It's one of the best things for me. Oh yeah, well, I guess if anyone doesn't know, I do have a full music production kind of course. It's not full, actually. It stops at a certain point because I abandoned it to do other things in life. But I do have a 92 video course for free on YouTube that teaches you how to use Studio One and produce music with some music theory and stuff, if you're into that. Thanks, Captain Koran. Okay, so let's just say we've listened to the drums and they sound good within themselves. Kick is as loud as the snare. The question of do the drums actually sound nice, like timbrally, that's just, you can't, it's not something that you can teach, obviously. You just have to pay attention to the way drums sound a lot. When I was growing up, I didn't pay attention to it. It's like I just assumed, it's not even a consideration. The way that a snare drum sounds or a kick drum sounds or a hi-hat sounds when you're not into producing or mixing or anything, it's like that's just the way that it is. It's not, there's no sense that it could be different or anything. You hear it, I remember listening to whatever, classic rock music, and I'm hearing the drums and stuff, but I'm not thinking of them as drum sounds that could be different than they are. That's just how they sound. And then getting into DAW production, where everything becomes interchangeable and you have to decide on the drum sounds, they're not just there. You realize, oh, right, every single aspect of a piece of music, record a piece of music, is the way that it is and can be different, so to speak. It could be different. And so, yeah, then you gain fine ear for the timbre of drums because you just have to listen to so many of them when you produce beat-based music. Is it too bright, too dark? Does it have a EQ bump in the middle? Is the transient sharp or not? Is it decay fast enough? Is it compressed? Is it uncompressed? Whatever, there's a million things. Pejorative. Could you show what you got so far? Var quickly just entered. Yeah, I can do that in a second. Lucas, hey, good to see you, Lucas. I'm just going to I'll do that in a second, pejorative. I'm actually just going to mix this in a bit. I'm just going over my process for how I would balance the volume of things in a track, because this is a little bit unbalanced right now. What I'm saying is that we start with drums, we balance the drums within themselves. The volume is turned down right now on the mix, by the way, just for anyone who's come in. Then you take the most important element, the focal element, the lead element, the melody, whatever it happens to be, and you balance that against the drums, and they can be equally loud. The melody can be even slightly louder, but for beat-based music, they're often the same perceptible volume. In this case, my melody is this little thing, which I don't really like that much. I'm going to change that today, but I will balance it for now. And it's also this bell. So I'm going to balance these against the drums. The panning on this needs to be slightly less, because I think it actually makes it less of a focal point when the panning is too much, and so I don't even perceive them as a melody in the way that I want them to be perceived as a melody. So I'm going to actually reduce a little bit of the panning. Something important for me in music is the flow of attention. What is the focal point at any given second, basically? As someone is listening through, as I'm listening through, how is my attention directed and passed off from instrument to instrument? And unless I want it for special effect, I don't want confusion in focal point, because for me, when I listen to music and I'm following along and something happens where my attention gets split and it feels like I'm supposed to be focusing on two things equally at the same time, I get this like immersion breaking experience. Suddenly I can't understand what's happening, and not in a theoretical sense, just as in a listening sense. That's something that I'm very sensitive to for whatever reason. So I'm trying to avoid that. Okay, so now we'll listen to the volume of this against the drums. Probably I should have used Pro Q after OTT. Yeah. Hey, Sion, good to see you. Okay, I'm going to change the volume of the mix for a second because I think it's important to constantly vary the volume that I'm listening to. It like brings out different elements. Yeah, I mean, it's fine right now. I just needed to get rid of that sound. Okay, so next I'm going to bring the volume up a bit, and we'll bring in the next most important element, which of course is not going to be a focal element now because we have focal element done. So it needs to now be a pyramid of importance, basically, from the focal element downwards. So drums and focal element are at the top, and everything else, generally speaking, unless you're wanting it to be a special effect, should be brought up as loud as it can be before it equals or overtakes the focal element and the drums. So you push it up until attention starts to be pulled away from the focal element to the secondary element, and then you're going too far and you have to bring it back down and find the point where it meshes, and you get this sort of pyramid of importance that stems from drums and focal element at the top. Sneaking in during my workday to check on the banger. Hey, Evan, good to see you. Well, I'll try to get there to play it quickly. I'm just trying to do a little bit of mixing, so I've given the overview now, so I can continue with this. So this sounds like it could be a focal element because it comes in the gap between two focal elements, but then of course my melody ends up coming in over top of it, so that's a bit problematic. See, so we're going to bring this guy down a bit, even though it's a cool sound. Oh yeah, this all came from a beatbox, by the way, that sounded like this. And that was not the one that I wanted to do, but the chat voted for it, and ended up that they were right. That's what I was supposed to do. Okay, so now we've basically got all the elements except for the bass and the chords. I'm gonna do the chords next. Yeah, that was me on the beatboxing. I hate that I missed the chance to make something with the beatboxing of the Canadian Biz Markie. Yeah, well, what can I say? So now I'm listening to the chords. That needs to have a different top note on it, but I'm going to balance these against everything else. Now the chords, of course, are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Dark, muted, not many high frequencies. And so they're sitting in a whole different zone than everything else is currently in the track. Sorry, turn that down a bit. Okay. The percussion. Got a tambourine here. I'm going to turn it down again. The volume of percussion elements becomes really apparent when volume is low to me. So if you listen to the tambourine now, its heavy hits are really sticking out. So what I'm going to do is compress. That's what compression's for, right? I'm going to compress the tambourine and have it be very fast compression to just catch those peaks. We'll try with auto gain on for now. Okay, so what's basically happening is we're making the volume of the peaks closer to the volume of the quieter hits, tekka 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 tekka, but the timbre will still be as though it was hit hard versus hit softly, of course, right? So that's the thing with compression, is that even though you're limiting the range, the dynamic range that the sound plays back in, if the thing is not a synth, but is an actual thing or a voice or an instrument or whatever, then to make it louder makes the timbre different by necessity. So you still retain the timbral difference, but you compress the volume differences. So you can hear all the detail more and you don't poke out of the mix or whatever, but it still sounds like there are stronger dynamic differences because the timbre of the thing changes and we interpret that as being louder and softer. Why not lower? Why not tell lower? Yeah, exactly. So the auto gain has made it too loud in general now. That's better. Maybe it's slightly too loud. There's a quote I read years ago from famous mix engineer, his name is escaping me right now, worked on the Steely Dan albums. That's what the way they were talking about in this article anyway. And his thing was basically on the importance of volume balance and how if you're not within 0.5 of a dB of that, by which I mean, if you can move something 0.5 of a dB up or down and it still sounds fine, either way, then you haven't found the spot yet. That the perfect volume balance for a given thing will give you that level of accuracy, that to have it and you move 0.5 up or down feels like too quiet, too loud. I don't do that degree of accuracy at this point in the process. Of course, that's too annoying. I just want to keep making music, but you know. Is this click sounding perk the tam? No, the tam is this. Oops. Bought a vinyl of Azure last week. Oh, that's funny. Oops. I've got all these low frequencies in these things, hey? Okay. Now the bass. The bass is a bit problematic in this track at the moment. I'll tell you why in a second. Sorry, I should have told you it was going to be loud. Sounds like this. Problem is that there's not much of an attack on it and it is quite muted. And so you can't really feel the, kind of things in it strongly enough. So we're going to try to remedy that in a couple of potential ways. Is it important to equalize each instrument to its band of instrument Disband of instrument. Disband of interest when mixing. What to say about that? Of course, that whole thing starts with the selecting of instruments to begin with. And you need to have in mind why you're selecting a given instrument, both why for its musical function, as in what is it doing, playing chords or melodies or bass lines or whatever. How is it playing them? Is it playing them as long notes, articulated short notes, arpeggios, whatever? And what is its timbral characteristic, and why do you need that in the song right now? So that you don't end up overlapping instruments that are basically doing the same thing when they don't need to. If that's taken care of, then when it comes to mixing, which we're going to have to deal with this at some point in this track, maybe I already did. Did I do that? No, not really. The chords, of course, live in the same zone as the bass. That's because both are fairly muted. Even though the chords are playing much higher frequencies, still they're going to have overlap. And so what I need to do is basically remove energy from the chords, because in the place where the bass overlaps it, because the bass, of course, is going to actually fill that piece of the puzzle. And if that piece of the puzzle is already filled by the chords, when the bass comes in to play it, it is going to be overflowing, breaking the puzzle, basically, right? So we want to prevent that, even though it might mean that the chords on their own, in moments when the bass is not playing, are thinner. It's fine because that you get the sense of completion. Whenever they play together, you get completion of the spectrum. And then if they play alone at some point, you get this emptiness, which is the contrast to the completion, and is kind of nice. So what I'm going to do with this is find the bass and click it on like this, and then get out of here. And then we can see the red is going to show where the bass is conflicting with the chords. Which is not, really highlighting anything, which makes me a bit nervous. What if we were to bring this back? Like it really should be highlighting, so I'm wondering what is not set up correctly about this right now. Why is that not working? No, this is the one that's supposed to... So I must have this... set up backwards. Hey, Paleac, you must have the answer to my question here. Why am I not seeing conflicts between these two? Pre, post, plus bass. Anyway, I'll just do it by ear instead. Heard a lot of contrasting rhythm, which is an example of polyrhythms. Yeah, exactly. So, I guess, well, let me think. Am I playing a polyrhythm with these things? Oh, let's get the solo situation off here. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to pull out a little bit of energy from this band of the chords. I'm going to pull out a lot to just see what the effect will be, and then I'm going to tone it back a bit to see. I'm going to pull out a lot to see, is this doing what I want it to do, basically, and then overdo it, and then we'll pull it back. So I'm going to pull this way down. What I'm listening for is the bass. Is the bass becoming more clear in the mix by doing this? For sure it is. So I'm going to bring that way back. But what we really need is the bass to be more articulated. That's the actual problem at the moment. Hey, Joseph, going well. Good to see you. Mixing is one of those infinite production rabbit holes you fall into. Gosh. It really is. It really is. The thing is, though, I feel like spend enough time on mixing in the beginning to get the music just sounding good enough. And then you got to just work on making music. Like, you have to have nice tracks, good compositions, good ideas, nice melodies, nice chords, blah, 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 blah. And then think about going back to mixing again. Nobody wants to listen to really well mixed bad music. Well, I don't know. Actually, that's not true. I do hear some music that's very popular that has that quality. I also seem to be deaf when it comes to these things. Yeah, well, so is everybody. I went through audio engineering school when I was 20 or something in 2008, and yeah, did a whole year. They taught us all about compressors, and we mixed lots of songs. We're in the studio with outboard, physical compressors, and came out the other end being like, I have no idea what I'm doing still. When I go to make my own music, about how to hear compression, really hear it accurately in all different contexts. That still took me years to do it, honestly. And still, it's not like it's just super accurate. I've been doing music production and putting compressors on tracks for 15 years, I guess. And it's still not easy. I often listen to some mixes in my reference mix playlist, and I just think, what are they doing? How are they getting it to sound like this? I've done so many mixes, and I'm pretty serious about it when I do it too. And I think, oh yeah, it's sounding pretty good. And then I go listen to some of my favorite mixes, and I'm like, what? What is this? What are you doing? How are you making it sound like that? Seriously. I've been seeing ads for EQ Academy. It says it's free. Oh, this is the gamified thing from Mastering the Mix, right? I got some emails about that, but I haven't actually looked into it. Okay, so I just want to get this bass a little bit more. Well, okay, I'll play from the top again because people were asking for it, and then I'm going to get the bass more articulated. That's where it ends for now. So that instrument there is an example of something where the fundamentals of the sound, the actual fundamental frequencies of the notes, are not loud enough compared to the sort of metallic harmonics and noise component of the sound. And so if I boost it in volume any more, which I need to do, it's going to boost those components too much. So I'm going to just boost the fundamentals, or perhaps reduce the high end and boost the whole thing. We'll have to see. But it's this. Oops, I don't want you. I want you. And, oh yeah, I missed a comment here, didn't I? House of Kush has excellent videos on compression. Agreed. Agreed. You get my house cleaning done so fast with this on. Okay, that's funny. So we're going to look on here to see where the fundamental frequencies are sitting. That's the lowest peak in every note. That's the fundamental frequency of that note. I think we need to actually put an EQ post shaper box. So I'm going to do a couple things. We're going to boost the fundamental zone a little bit. And then I'm going to pull out some here with a dynamic because it's really... Actually, what I want is this to be dynamic. Just to get those really high frequencies that build up at some point there. Like maybe try this. That thing right there. Problem is, to hear that I have to let the thing play every time. I probably need... Wow, it needs some compression on it to deal with those peaks as well. We don't want auto gain on, of course, because we're just trying to tame things that are too loud. We're not trying to bring the whole signal back up. It's a bit better. But aren't most fundamentals pretty low in the frequency band? Won't make it muddy? Well, of course, the fundamentals scale in frequency with how high the note goes. So the fundamentals of bass notes, of course, are very low. Of chord tones in like the mid-range are fairly low, but of these melody notes, they're pretty high. Hey, D-Mix, good to see you. I'm going to turn it down so I can just hear more clearly. Here the toms are really loud, maybe too loud. I am like totally slamming them with the velocities too, so that would account for it. Maybe we can actually tweak that a little bit. Let's see. I mean, they're not too bad. Let's try pulling them all down though, just to see. I need to make some changes to this groove as well, but yeah. Okay, volume is going to come back up. And you take it from the top once more. We have this note, the bell note, which I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is reverse it, or even like maybe even like okay, the two main things I need to do to get this sounding like I want for now is fix the bass and change the lead sound, or layer the lead sound, one of the two. So we're going to fix the bass first. I'm not the best at working in pigments, so you're going to have to bear with me as I figure out how to achieve this. Okay, so I'm going to use envelope 3 to get some punch in the sound by using a pitch bend at the start of every attack. So we will apply envelope 3 to the global pitch. Do they have a thing like that in here? Global pitch? Where would you even find that? Do I have to apply it to multiple? I don't use this enough to know. So envelope 3, if I push a sign, then I have to actually drag a knob. And where would a global pitch knob be? If someone has the answer to this, just feel free to tell me. Otherwise, I can just do the tuning of both of these and scale it. We'll start with that. Oops. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Drag. Oh no, right, I have to go above it, right? Yeah. Let's just put it at 25 for now. And we'll do the same here. And so you can hear now. It's too slow, of course, but getting some re-triggering clicks too, which is kind of annoying, but we'll figure that out later. Is pigments just serum? Nope. I mean, they definitely have a lot of overlap, no doubt about it. But they are different. So now I'm going to play the line and just fine-tune the speed of the decay on this punch and potentially the amount of pitch bend going on. So is velocity must be affecting, yeah, here, right, the amp. So we don't really want that. It's affecting something else too, like timbre or something. Let's hear it in context. Still not really what I'm looking for. I might need to put an attack sound on it of some kind, but I'm just going to leave it for now. Are you going to expand the arrangement of the song as well? Yeah, I'll probably end up with one more section and then try to keep it a little bit contained. Interesting how mixing changed the prominence of the bass, and now here it is the melody. Interesting. Boom boom ba do 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 do. Maybe. Da do. can't play that. I need to play the major third. Oh, it's gonna sound pretty wacky, I think. Okay, let's get this other sound kind of good. I might try and make a new sound. Sure. I haven't used Serum too much yet, so I may as well take the opportunity. And I have an idea for what I want for this. Will I be able to make it? I don't even know how to describe it, so I'm not going to try. I'll just try to make it and see how far I get. Is Pigments a new thing for you? No, I've had it for a few years, but it's just different enough from Serum in the way that routing works and things work within it, interface-wise, that it's not like super easy for me to transfer the knowledge, and I spent so many years obsessing with Serum. So I don't use it enough to get to the point where I can like quickly work with it and make stuff that I want. I probably should try to, but now Serum 2 is out, so what else do you need in your life? Okay, so, oh my God. Let me turn off the master limiter for a second because it's definitely adding huge delay to the track. Oh, Bloom probably is as well, right? Just while I'm designing the sound. Dom, hey. If there's a possibility that the app Sonofil might be bugged and every first start of the app goes with an extremely weird bug. The sound gets buggy and weird. I always have to turn the app. Huh. That's weird. You should just send us a contact form. If you can get into the app and it's fine, then go into the settings section and go to contact support and send it there, and then we can deal with it specifically, because I haven't heard of that happening to anybody yet, I don't think. But yeah, send us an email there and we can definitely help you. The modal and additive synth and pigments is pretty unique. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. What I'm going to do is when it comes to making synths, I always start as simple as I possibly can. If I can start with just basic shapes as opposed to, what do you call it? Wavetables, then I will. And I'm thinking a triangle wave that has some shape to it, like perhaps this. And I'm going to mono, not legato. And I want to put a sound on it. Now, where's the sound? Oh, noise is here now. So let's see what we've actually got in here. This needs to be one shot. So I'm just listening for the onset of the sound, of course, the attack. I've got an idea. This is somewhat in line. Can I send the sound somewhere? Yeah, once you email us, then you'll have an email and you can send us the sound to that email for sure. Sorry, I know this is annoying. It will end at some point. Okay, I'm just gonna... Maybe a kick transient could work. Pitch shifted. That's not bad, actually. Okay, and then I might be feeding this into a OTT right from the beginning for the sound I'm looking for. How do you do that here with this? I can't Can I like EQ specifically the noise section in Serum 2? Is that a thing? Like bus, use a bus to do it somehow? Mix, noise, filter, direct, main, none. Bus 1, 2. Interesting. Let's just do it like this first. Okay, and then to add some interest to the triangle wave, we'll try some warping, alt warp. I see they're sort of differently now. Distortion warp. Could be interesting. Let's get some motion on it first. We'll use envelope 1 to control this as well. Yeah, let's start with that. And then we'll use a secondary warp of some warping from the sub, maybe. How do we do that? Or sorry, say FM from the sub here. Set the sub. Does the sub have to be on? Yes, but we can do this. Something in there we can probably do. So let's see. Let's assign this to a macro just to make it controllable. And it's probably going to backfire at some point, but I'm going to try to start putting it into the track and see if I can at least maybe tweak it to make it work. So here we've got like a pitch bend. And now if we add macro 4, do they have a thing for macros now? Oh, I can search in here now. That's a new update. Oh my God, it's amazing. So what if we just over time increase this? The pitch bends might be not what we want now. I'm not sure. Let's get rid of them. Maybe just the first one. Let's make it just a bit louder in here. So yeah, we're really coming out of this thing pretty quietly. I see. And we will get a reverb upon it, which we don't have any reverbs in the session yet, so we'll just grab a new one. And let's just tweak it a little bit. Volume on this thing is still just not happening. Let's turn this down. It's a bit ridiculous. So we've got this short reverb on it, which maybe is cool, maybe not. Yo, it's Adam. Hey Max, do you have any tips for learning piano as a guitarist? I just want to play hip chords for my tracks. I know theory, but not being able to play things I can play on guitar kills my motivation. Well, then you're in a good position because if you already know what you want to play, it's just a matter of being able to generate voicings. So yeah, I mean, learning to play that kind of stuff on piano means developing the ability to see the degrees of a chord very, very quickly. So I'm actually developing an app, a free app, that does exactly this. It's for this thing. It's for training you to play the types of chords that a producer or composer who's not a piano player would want to be able to do. So for me, the thing is, unison MIDI chord back. Yeah, exactly. For me, the thing is, given a particular chord name, can you get a usable voicing of it in 3 seconds or less, basically? If you're not a performing piano player that needs to actually be like comping, for a jazz tune or something with other players, and you can just take your time, so long as it's like 3 seconds to get a chord, it doesn't become frustrating. And then the ability to do that comes from being able to see the relationships on the keyboard very quickly, such that if you look at any given note as a bass note, every other note is seen as some scale degree in relation to that. If you then have the theory knowledge that says major 9 is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and you can see that the note is A flat, all of the other numbers appear, so to speak, as all of the keys, and I can easily see that the degrees oh my god to play A flat major 9 appear through that visualization, and then I can create any voicing of A flat major 9 because the notes are tied relationally to the given root note, and then I see their degrees. So the app I'm trying to make is all about kind of forcing you in a gamified way to see relationships on the piano very quickly, so that when you look at a G, the question is, what is that to C? It's 5. What is that to B flat? It's 6. What is that to A? It's flat 7, to whatever. So that any melody note or inner note or whatever you want to say is known against the current root or the current tonic of the scale. Either way, its number is known like that. It's going to be really, really fast. That's the whole trick, basically. That's the whole trick. Other than that, you just need the basic understanding of how voicings work and how they should be laid out. But that applies to any instrument, generally speaking, about where you put sevens versus nines versus, whatever for a pleasing voicing. Yeah, there's a beta version of the app available in the Discord in the instrument channel. If you want to go in there and check it out, you can try a beta version. It doesn't have chord progressions in it yet, but it does have some basic functionality. Okay, so what was I doing? This thing. And maybe we're going to put I'm still not really happy with this sound, but we'll see if I can get there. I'm going to put this into a delay. Every time I open Timeless 3, I have to wrap my head around it again. I see we're on. Kind of cool too, actually. Now we offset the right-hand side. That's pretty cool. So there's too much fundamental in this sound right now. So we need to, we'll deal with it because it's serum. We can deal with it on a very granular level. We can actually go inside the waveform and remove. Look, you can see the relationship of the fundamental to the other harmonics here, right? It's massive. So if we bring this down, that's closer. Still not quite what I'm imagining in my mind. What am I missing? It's like, okay, I'm not quite sure. I need to think about it. Okay, I'm gonna go from the top again. I know this is not really gonna sound great just yet, but it's gonna sound like something. Oh, I still have my limiter and stuff off, so it's clipping. Let's do that again. That honestly, it needs some automation and stuff, but it is kind of interesting. And if I bounce this and reverse it, thanks for the insightful answer. I love Sonofield. It's a great way to keep my skills sharp when I was on vacation last month. Nice. Happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that. If this was like this. And then maybe the second time it should be. So then if we have this reverse, quite a bit louder. It's kind of interesting. This could also be pitched up 12. interesting. Yeah, it's not bad. Where am I? Thinking like maybe an extra note could be on the table. Huh. What was that? Those bass notes? No. The new sound is much better. Yeah, I think so too. I'm thinking like I should automate the delay. I'm not sure if I want to automate the send of the delay or the delay return itself, but we'll try the send at first. So the first one like doesn't have delay at all. Actually, let's put this over here. You know, like it's kind of dry at first. And I'm thinking maybe even a big reverb also being automated would be kind of cool. Kind of super cool. So if we have verb 2 now, and we enable this, we can solo this again, and this time we'll just try to make it super distant, big, characterful. It's got some like harshness here. Yeah. And perhaps this reverb can be panned. We can pan the send to it. Is it working? No, because the reverb itself has no width. So I think the reverb itself needs to be panned. U. And then we automate the send, similar to the first one. And then we can duplicate this and also duplicate the delay. Yeah. Then we're going to duplicate these over now. I'm Philly. Hey, good to see ya. Has been a while. How are you doing? So anyway, that was good. I think we got some good progress on the melody sound there. A couple other things I wanted to do before I were to end would be, oh yeah, the send panning. For anyone that doesn't know, you can right-click the send. Is that how you do it? Right-click the send. Pan mode. I forget. Maybe, oh yeah, it's in this thing, right? Panner. No, it's not. Lock pan to channel. That's what it is when you right-click and you lock pan to channel. Otherwise, you can independently pan either the send to the reverb or whatever else you want apart. That is separate from the panner of the channel. The send can have its own panner. Okay, so the bass in the second part and the drum fill in the second part. Keep wanting to hear a couple. I'm kind of like obsessed with that thing where drum fills stop like a beat or more ahead of time with some empty space. I don't know why. So I'm pretty sure that is this division. And perhaps it will have a, well, we'll just leave it with a plain snare for now. Yeah, we have to look at the other elements that are going on there too, but yeah. Okay, Carl, nice to have you here. Have a good sleep. You know, we could have the so what's hanging over the gap right now? The chord sound is, the bass is, which is kind of cool. So maybe we should stop the little, as nice as they are, it could leave room for the bass. Yeah, so now we could probably do something cool with the bass in there. We're gonna probably want to stop this melody sound just due to the way the shaper box patch works. It seems to ring over, I think. Has like a delay on it or whatever. I don't know what is causing that exactly. I should maybe just check. Like, is it in the original sound, maybe? Maybe it is. If we take shaper box off. Yeah, it's like the reverb. The envelope has a decently long release as well. So if we cut that off and turn this back on, it's not too bad. It's giving you lots of glitch flashbacks. You mean music you used to listen to? Ooh. So the bass goes. Now, for the actual groove, I want the bass to be more active with the drums. So I'm just going to loop this and get the bass and the drums together. See, the bass right now just holds over these kicks. Thinking like some kind of techie, at least re-articulating on every downbeat, or every quarter note, and maybe with a little pause. And Yeah, like maybe if I depends on how mean we want it to sound. Get this. Make this short. Make these kind of short. Then I'm going to get rid of these and the short, this is a thing that I run into all the time in my own music, is that when a section needs to feel like heavy and weighty, having gaps in the bass is problematic for obvious reasons. But I end up always liking to have zoom with like a gap after it as my downbeat, but it ends up actually weakening the feel. And this space right now, even though it's groovy, is I think too weak. I might need to make it longer. You know, like if it was like the second one, boom, that's probably better. Oops. Boom. Oops. Yosh, yo. Good to see you. What if this ran over the bar line? Let's just dupe this for now. Something happens in the drums there, the pattern gets broken. Yeah. Bo, bo, bo. Maybe the drum pattern itself also needs to change. You know, because I'm implying quarter notes and then I miss the next quarter note there. Maybe I should be on it. There's got to be something else. Maybe. No. I'm not sure. Yeah, I wanted to work on it while it was still a bit fresh. And then we need to duplicate the bass and put it down to F. there's some kick placements that could be probably pretty cool in the main section that I'm not articulating right now. Let's just see. It's pretty good. Maybe there. No, Papa. Papa right here. Oops, that's the wrong spot. It's kind of a weird gap in there, so we need to fix it. It's this snare placement actually that's tripping me up. Maybe we need a third one. And now we do need the snare back, maybe. Yeah, the A sections are the same. That's a problem. So the first question would be to tackle that. Is there anything that is unnecessary for the core groove the first time the A comes around that can come into the second repetition of the A, so that I don't have to add a new thing? It's already a little bit busy, so we're just going to see if we take out all the percussion, if that's lame. I don't mind it, but more could be done. Also, this should have a wiggle. A wiggle. What does the... Oh, it kind of does. Oh, sick. Okay, I can just use that. Don't forget the waggle at the wiggle, yeah. Common problem. Have this one be like calming down. And this one sort of like maybe be stable until right at the end. Can't even hear it, but perhaps there'll be a time when you can. Now, since all of these are exactly the same, I did want to have the second one be different. I'm expecting to hear major 7, but instead we're getting that thing. Yeah. Wait, what? Let me think about this. Oh, I never changed these over to this? Is that, am I tripping right now? What is going on? That's got to be the... Right, okay. Oh, they're different. Okay, so what I need to do actually is this copied onto this one. Yeah, and then this is correct, but you know, the thing is that we're expecting to hear this major 7th chord, but instead we get the dominant thing. I just want the top note here to be, could be that. I'm also going to get rid of the little bit of attack click that's going on with this, since we're not really able to hear it anyway, and it's just going to add little clicks to the track. So like even that's fine. Maybe a bit more. Okay. I feel like the chords can actually be louder still. Don't like that snare placement for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's like, it's just, it needs to come later, or there needs to be a second one. It's like somehow unbalanced. There's a whole theory of rhythmic balance that, oh gosh, I never made a video on, but anyway, something I pay attention to, and there's a book that a friend of mine a long time ago gave me some excerpts from, and had someone else's thoughts on this idea of rhythmic balance. And this person had gone to Africa and studied various hand drum rhythms that are played by 3 people, which sort of complete each other. And he analyzed a bunch of these rhythms to see why the popular ones became popular and became part of the culture. And the short version of it, he calls it rhythmic harmony. That's how you get to my heart real quick. And the short version of it is that symmetrical placements across dividing lines is basically at the core of the thing, such that, I can give an example here. Any one of these kind of spots can be viewed as a sort of mirror point, which certain hits will or can be mirrored across. For instance, Here we're not mirroring because this hits here and this hits on the beat. But if I took this to be a mirror line, it would be mirroring on the opposite side, equidistant from what it was here, which actually is this in this case. It just looks funny because of the length of the note. But it's going to obviously break the groove in terms of this case. But he shows these mirror lines that are sort of like, you know, mid-bar, each individual beat, whole bar, even 2-bar long mirrors that occur in these rhythms. And I think there's actually a lot of truth to that and value in it. When you look at famous, culturally relevant grooves and the way that they generate symmetries across like various mirror points within it, there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens with that. Anyway, so this guy feels unbalanced to me right now. And almost like he's supposed to go here, and this guy's supposed to go here. You know? You know, like this gap with the kick not on the thing kind of breaks it. I'm just gonna try for now to like swap these and maybe place a second here, like this would be a mirror. Is this a mirror? This is a mirror right here across this. Or the mirror would be placed across here. And this one needs to be changed as well. So my snare is also not like great. Oh, this is placed wrong too. Kagatum. I kind of wish that I had another snare in here that was like deeper to do this job. I don't though. Could there be 2 more repetitions of the B section? I feel you want the mean groove to last a bit longer. Yeah, I agree. And I was thinking that maybe what should happen is these actually get muted for when the bass first comes in, and then they come back in after. Maybe. I'm gonna turn it up again, so watch yourself. And then that comes back in, maybe. That'd be a way to like extend it a little bit without being too repetitive. The secondary snare in here is definitely whack. The snare is not quite what I want. I don't know. Okay. At least we can do that. Supposed to go here. So we'll just insert time here between 33 and 41. I always forget how to do that here. Insert silence between 33 and 000. 41. Yeah, it's interesting enough to listen to it on its own, not started with a melody. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So if we take these, groove. What do we think about that? You know, compare this snare placement with the 4 on the floor. It's like it's really just like going and going with no whatever glitches versus. This has got the do. It's like you get into a thing and then it says oh, and then you come, which, you know, I'm not opposed to that. Not sure. Okay, Evan, nice to have you around. Clark, hi. Will we have a desktop version for Sonophil web apps so we can practice on the computer? I really wish that were the case. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. If you're on a Mac, you can already do that. But otherwise, from what I understand, the way that it's built would be a pretty large effort to get it ported to run on Windows. Perhaps with the new app, the Chord app, we can have it run on both from the start. I don't know. That would be pretty great, though. Okay. That is true. You can use an emulator. Also, my chat thing is telling me there's a major outage. I don't see the problem. I feel like I'm seeing all the chat still, maybe. I'm not sure if like maybe Twitch isn't working or something, but yeah, it's definitely telling me 6 minutes of a major outage. Okay, Yash, have a good evening. Peace. So yeah, this currently is supposed to just end right here, but it's not actually going to. I'm probably going to go to a C section, which then goes back into the B section. I don't know if I'm going to do any of that right now or not, but... So let me just consider, what would this even be? Oops. Ah. Mm-hmm. I'm just testing out potential silhouettes at the moment, trying to feel what the contour wants to be. So I'm just going to play this right now on this instrument because I don't really have a good lead instrument for it, but just to get a silhouette maybe. Also want the modulation to be off at this point. So I'm thinking like this main section, the A section, ends on the E Lydian dominant thing every time. Something I don't remember with a voicing something like that. And normally it doesn't go where it's supposed to go, so to speak. It wants to go here, and this is where we'll go this time. Da dee da da dee da, you know, da dee da da dee da dee da da dee do da do 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 do. And then we use like an inverted do do. Let me think. Should we do that? Do 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 do. Yeah, I like it. Voicings I'm just trying to think about. Do it like this instead, get better voicing in the middle. Yeah, let's try to get those down. I'm just considering the melody in my mind and thinking what chords do I want to go under that. And yeah, thinking about flat 6, major 13 to first inversion 1 chord. Maybe with the 7, maybe not. And then when I say the 1 chord, I'm singing the major key. I'm actually in the minor key. This is more like 1/4. That's the way I think about this chord, generally speaking. Or 4 minor 7 sus2. Is that what it says on the thing? C7 sus2. Yeah. So I'm just going to sort of draw those in for the moment because I don't really know what I want to do with them just yet, but so try it like this. We're going to put this on a different instrument since my chords are going to run into it. Maybe let's try it like this and see. Yeah, I hit the 13 on that chord. I wasn't thinking about that. It's not terrible, but I was kind of wanting to hang out on this chord for a while, in which case I'm gonna hit both of them. What's the main melody? No, I can't really put that in there. Let's see if I split it here. Oops. It's probably here, I think. I'm just going to let go of all this. Go for a 6-bar phrase. We need a new keyboard sound for this part, I think, and probably a new lead sound. I could try to put the lead on this, but it's probably a bad idea. It's not the end of the world. Start with that for now. And if we can get either a layer to put over these chords. F. What am I thinking about here? Interesting. Now, what if we had like this is going to be loud again for a second because we haven't heard. Oh no, it's turned down. Don't worry. You know. I have so much delay on my keyboard right now, I can't really play it in, but I'll just put the notes down. And we'll just go fix that. That one's off. What does it need to be? What does it need to be? This is doing nothing. What is this? Oh, this is the old lead sound. Maybe we can get a new chord sound. Keys and random. It's actually kind of interesting to sort of layer on the chords, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Actually don't need the melody in here anymore. Oh my God. It's like really kind of future-y, which is kind of cool. Maybe we should get the release. Just experimenting right now because I don't really know this should be. Yeah. It's gonna be. You have to leave these off. And this can actually be this again. And get the rides in there somehow. It's just, what is it? Straight across, what have we got? You know, kind of maybe like this. Oops. Open hats on this. Close it on this. This is just kind of temporary, oops, for the moment, just to see if it's going to work at all. And then we'll like jump on this. Let's put a loop around this. This could have this. Could have a couple ghosties. Let's do this over for now. This can be actually a kick. Skatgoom. And this can be some toms. So we'll... This time, instead of closing the open hat, we'll hit a crash. coming along. This isn't like the usual workflow that I'm doing where I kind of like do these chords and stuff and then build the drums around it, but it might work. I think what I'll do is put the beginning drums in as well, and then when I loop the section, I'll remove them for the first repetition. I think it does need something here. Maybe just both your kicks and a couple of pairs of crashes, perhaps. Sky Naws, good to see you again. My DAW is Studio One. My DAW. That's my DAW. Okay, this is, oh yeah, there we go. Something like that. Let's get something in first. I see this is supposed to come early. Doom doom way. You know, it's okay. It's okay-ish, maybe. Like this chord sound needs to be, you know, sustaining way more. And I need to go to another chord there at some point. I'm just gonna have like a little something. Kind of thinking like this, this. The chords need to be like just way. Like this will work, but they need to be louder and better. Like maybe this, you know. That's interesting. The lag with the plugins, it makes it impossible to play this, but here I am doing the impossible. I have another song that starts just like that. No matter. Try it. And then let's get and then I will put a sustain pedal on this. That's cool too. That's actually like offset the rhythm from what I was trying to do. It's kind of sick actually. Let's see if we can formalize that a little bit. Diddle doodle diddle den diddle. Thum diddle doodle diddle den diddle 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 den diddle 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 den diddle 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 den diddle. Yeah, like that. And this will be here. And then these will be, this will be here, here, right? Diddle diddle doom diddle 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 den diddle 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 den diddle. Then we'll go up. Drop the sustain pedal here for a second and restart it. This might be better to be played by another instrument instead of this. But it's interesting. Welcome, Ian. Glad you like it. I'll play you some of the other part in a second. Obviously, we need a drum fill here or something. It's a tom roll. Maybe like, well, yeah, I have got this here already. Maybe. And these can be a bit, maybe like this, and roll them twice as much. Open hat's a bit loud in this part, I think, so let's... Probably a good place to do some kind of techie-based stuff. I haven't really done that yet. The volume's going to come way up now, so if you only joined recently, watch out, because I've had it at a low volume for a little while. Let's play it from the start and just kind of see what it's like to go into that section there. I'm going to have to stop at some point here. I'm getting carried away. I got stuff I got to do today, but it's enjoyable, so what can you say? Yeah, it's cool. I think that will work. Looping it. Oh, I don't know. You know, the bass. What is it going to be? Make some shorter. Oh, here. Something. No. Let's just try it with that sound for now. Get the pitch bend in after. Now, how did I do that? Seeing if I can link those phrases together a little bit. Gino Ferrati, welcome. Glad you like it. You know, those dotted 16s. Up the thing. Weird phrasing. I'm gonna need to deal with that, but at that moment, we need something extra beautiful. This is when I need the guitar. It's somehow easier for me to write this kind of stuff on the guitar. I'm Alexander. Hey, welcome. Let's write it like that first in here, so. Bass chords. Huh. possibilities. Right now I'm doubling the top and the bottom tone, which I don't really want to do. I wanted like a actual four-part harmony. Doesn't sound bad like that. I put that on the wrong track, right? Yes, I put it on the bass. So we need to get rid of this stuff and this stuff. I'm just gonna start, oh God. Start pulling this stuff down. So first voicing. I mean, let's go with that. It's just nice. Let's just take the easy route and take what's working already. Maybe. Lots of seconds and fourths. That's what this sound is made of. Maybe we just add one extra bar here to let this kind of ride out. It says the hold is off, but it really sounds like it's on. Yeah. Yeah, come on. You dig? Then this, what is this? Oh, that's the new part. So maybe then this should be pulled back. Scalp. And oops, we should pitch bend the first one. And this. Oops. Yeah. kind of cool. And you like chill on the G instead of the C for that time. Is that like a thing that we could do? What's going on with the bass? It's like sliding every time. Why? What happened? That's better. Yeah, that's probably pretty cool. So if we grab all of this, no, we grab to here, and we put it here. And we convert this chord, oh gosh, into, oh, this is confusing. Okay, these need to go together. This can get pulled back. I just need to see how this is going to actually work here. This is pulled out to here, and this is to here, and this is pretty abrasive sound. I'm going to have to change that. And the bass ends up on a G. Do, 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 do. You know, it's kind of cool. The mod wheel on this sound is getting pulled up somewhere. And so it can just go like one more. Can it go? Let's go one more. Like a full this goes 3 and then 1. This goes 3. Yeah, I should go one more. Boom, 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 boom. Like this. And we'll fix that bass later, make it more interesting. This gets pulled out. This gets copied from here. Yes. And probably should reset here. And then it loops there. Yeah, something like that. And then how does it get into this? Because I want this to come after this. Problem is we're already on a G right here, and this part starts on a G. Can't have that. Okay, I'm coming up to 3 hours, so I'm probably going to stop here. What time is it? Yeah. Let me play through it again, just to get a lasting impression. Here, this needs to re-articulate here. Oopsie. And I just want to before I go, because I have the idea now, I need to try something. If this was duplicated, and if the second time we don't go to G, but we go to A flat, might be crazy because it's going to be like major 7, sharp 11 type of really tense kind of vibe, but maybe that's what we want. Gonna have to tweak these voicings in a minute because I really doubt it's just gonna work straight off. You know, like maybe not quite so long, but I do like it. It's kind of like, whoa, damn. For a second, it's like, and then just for, you know, the sake of it, we're going to try to bring this over. Why didn't I hear those notes? That's muted. That's kind of the plan. I don't know if that really works right now, but maybe I can get it to be smoothed out. So funny because I don't listen to any music that is like this, that is like this, just like full on, especially that section. I definitely don't ever put that on. But for some reason, when I go to make stuff, it's like, yeah, that's what it should be, like some kind of jungle tribal vibe. So it made me pick up my guitar. Such a fun tune. That's great. Glad to hear that. I'm gonna leave it there, and if I can smooth this transition, which I'm sure I can, the technique is going to be this A flat chord lasts too long, so I need to split it. We'll see. Something that's going to cadence into a G. We're going to hit the G right here. We're going to do a one time without the drums, come in with the drums and the melody. Maybe do the A section one more time, maybe not, I'm not sure. Maybe an A section without drums like the intro is, and then it'll be done. I think. Yep. Okay, this week sometime as well, I'm going to have a new thing. I'm going to try a new thing. We used to do these things in the Discord where we would sort of just have a live video hangout session and everybody can bring songs they like and we just listen to a bunch of music together. I'm going to try to do that now, but it will be on Twitch instead, and there will be a way for anybody to just submit a song, not of your own, well, it can be of your own too, but just any song that you like. You can submit a song and it will go into a big playlist. And then I'll listen to that, and we'll all be in the chat together and just listen to music and comment on it and discuss some things and just go through. So if you ever wanted me to hear a particular song of yours or of other people or get my thoughts on something or whatever, then that will be the place to do it. And also just kind of hang out with other like-minded people listening to hopefully good music. We'll see what comes out of it. That's going to be sometime this week, possibly this weekend, maybe on Saturday. What day is it today? Tuesday. So yeah, it'll be on Twitch, not YouTube, because YouTube will definitely shut me down midway through. Copyright vibes. Where Twitch, at least while you're live, is looser on that. We'll see if I can get away with it. Okay, appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. And I'll be back again at some point to finish the track for sure, because I like it. It's almost there anyway, so. Oh, the Twitch is... Can I like easily paste it somehow? It's just... I think it's just harmonic heart. I think that's, well, my username. Oh yeah, there you go. I'm pasting it from Twitch. Oh no, paste it to both. Anyway, that's what it is. Search that. I don't have the link handy on me right now. I probably should. Okay, thanks everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.